TikTok.
TikTok.
This is YouTube.
YouTube.
And that's Instagram.
And Instagram. Hello and good evening, everybody. It's Friday. It's a bank holiday weekend. Hope you're all well, and I hope you've all got some good fun plans for the weekend. Is it DIYing? That's what most people apparently are doing. I've had a busy day today. Look at all this paperwork here. Just scan across that. I'll tell you and show you what I've been doing. With it being bank holiday weekend, it is technically the most busiest weekend that people do DIY tasks around the house. So first and foremost, if you've got any DIY questions, send them through to us and we'll try and get back to you while we're live on here. Give you a little shout out as well. But I have actually done today 20, it sounds bizarre, so I've got another one to do later. I've done 22, I was going to say emails today, I'm so tired. 22 interviews today. I don't know if you guys can see there on this screen. Along here are these who I've been talking to today, doing some live, some pre-recorded. And it is for a company called Loft Zone, who've done a survey, and I'll tell you about it in a minute, but it's generally all about DIY for the weekend. But I've been speaking to, the first thing I've done this morning, I think it was Sky News in the very early in the morning. It was one about 8:20 we started. Then there was WCR, BFBS. Does anyone know what BFBS is? Radio and TV. It's the British Forces Broadcasting Services. And it's great to spoke to Amy on there, spoke to her many times before, and I have actually done makeovers for our British troops pretty much all over the world, wherever the UN barracks are. We've been to Kosovo, Bosnia, Germany, Cyprus, the Falkland Islands, the Ascension Islands. They sit down there. She's chasing me glasses, the reflection of them. The Ascension Islands. Where else we've been? Canada. We've been Faslane, Scotland. With the Royal Marine Commandos, we've been with the Navy, we've been with the RAF, we've been with the Normal Army, doing makeover shows. So it's always great to catch up with BFBS. Then we went on to BBC Radio Cumbria, we went to BBC Radio Wiltshire, we went to BBC Radio Nottingham, and then Radio News Hub. I think they hub us out to different things. SFM in Kent, K107. I have heard of some of these radio stations before. I have been on some of them in Sky News again then at about, that was by 10:45 this morning. Then we got up to 10:45, 50. Every one of them was like a 15-minute slot that marketeers kind of organise and zoom us all in together. BBC Radio Derby, Gateway, BBC Radio Bristol, BBC Radio Stoke, Dad's Net podcast. I met these two cool guys, dads of course, who do their podcast. I hadn't heard of it before, but I'm going to look into them. I'm going to start giving them a follow because they were nice fellas and we had a good chat about DIY and kids as well, of course, you know. Then there was Steph, BBC Radio Guernsey, Swindon as well, 105, BBC Radio West Midlands, BBC Radio Kent, Radio Cornwall, Radio Cambridge. And then we've come off here, so we've had about an hour break. That's why I'm a bit late getting on here now and chatting to you, because we've been picking up the kids. However, I have got another live call to do with BBC Scotland tonight at 5:55. So if you're in the Scotland area, make sure you're listening to their BBC National Radio. And we will be live on there. Got a couple more on Bank Holiday Monday as well. So, what is it all about? It's about DIY because, as I said, it is pretty much the busiest time for doing DIY. Any questions coming in on for us yet? Anyone, even listeners? Anyone out there?
How do you sand grooves in decking?
How do you sand grooves in decking? Great difficulty, to be honest, but if you're going to paint up your decking or stain it, first get a jet wash on it, jet wash it all off nice and clean, then get a wire wool brush and get in between all of those grooves. They're designed for a non-slip tread, lots of little alcoves routed out in there, but they fill up with all sorts of junk, and then obviously the paint in there, the water lodges in it and it bubbles and blisters, etc. So scrape it all off. The jet wash might take most of it. Then sand it with your wire wool brushes. Then get a bit of light wire wool on the edge of your brush. Get in between all of there. Dust it all off, and then you can spray paint it. You can roll it. You can brush it on. Get yourself a good like an alfresco paint that's suitable for outside areas, and that'll work really well on that. You can put 2 or 3 coats of it and then like a finishing or a tough coat on top of it, which is like a clear, transparent, a little bit like a varnish, to make it just a bit more hard wearing and weather protected better. Oh, I'm tired. But keep the questions coming in. Hopefully you will have seen our Mr. and Mrs. DIY YouTube channel. We're live on YouTube on there, are we?
This one's
That
YouTube.
one there in the middle,
Yeah, that one's Instagram.
I'm looking at 3 iPhones at the moment. I can say hello to one another. Can you see? That was just boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
Really boring, wasn't it? Okay, calm down now. Calm down. But yeah, this campaign I'm doing today, not so much a campaign, it was just getting messages across, because they did a survey with over 2,000 people in the UK. Some of the stats were saying 65% of people are planning to do tackle DIY jobs this bank holiday weekend. The most popular DIY tasks attempted on a bank holiday is garden. 41% of people do that. Spring cleaning. You alright, Sydney? Got a little bulldog there.
Someone on YouTube was actually asking if you could give Sydney a pat.
Oh, I'm going to give Sydney a pat. Yeah. Come here, Sydney. Come and say hello to everyone. Come and jump up right here. Come on. She gets a bit camera shy sometimes, and she's a bit lazy dog. She sleeps about 22 hours a day. Don't you, Sid? Yeah, alright, there she is. She's got her own Instagram channel as well, hasn't she? Called Sydney the Bulldog. We haven't put pictures up for ages, have we? We need to, because she is our mascot. But this survey was fascinating, you know. 33% of people are painting, 24% are redecorating, but a majority of them people, 2/3 of them, were wanting to save money. Okay, want to save money, and that means doing it yourself straight away saves you, because you're not having to pay for the trade, of course. But they wanted to try and, I think one of the other things that came back was, how can you save money on the energy costs? Now, I don't need to tell you how much your utility bills have gone up in the last, couple of years, but it's hit everybody hard, businesses, households, the lot, so a lot of these kind of DIY tasks and things were coming down to, how can you make your house more energy efficient, and there's the typical ones of putting draft excluders around your doors, your windows, your letterboxes, your cat flaps, or anything like that. Filling any of the holes in the wall where you may have had some pipes coming through, and basically a small gap in there, getting your 3C sealants in there, filling it up. If it's an expanding foam or just a silicone, it works wonders to stop that hot air escaping out your house and the cold air coming back in. And then what do we all do? Typically, we turn the heating up. So the idea was to try and make your homes more energy efficient. And what Loft Zone have developed is this kind of like a bridged boarding system. So if you look up in your loft space, and most of us in the survey come back to that we forgot about loft spaces, nobody bothers up there, big cold void, like this, got a load of insulation which is a bit itchy, no one likes to go in there type of thing. We visit it once, twice a year, Christmas tree in and out, and suitcases, all that type of stuff. But the tips are for today is about making that room more usable, for better storage space, but more energy efficient to keep your costs of living down. Okay, so what they've done is they've developed this strange little bracket. It's like a bit of an A-shaped thing. It screws onto all of them timbers that are in your attic space. They're the ones you try to tiptoe across so you don't go through the ceiling when you're trying to get the boxes and bags out to the attic area. Yeah, these fix onto there and they bridge up, probably about 6-8 inches high. And what that does is then battens across and it gives you a void underneath there. It can be boarded all the way over the top of it, which is cool because that is quick and easy to do. So you've got a full, big, flat, perfect, strong loft floor space in there for storage space. But not only are you getting your DIY tasks done with more storage space, uncluttering your lifestyle, all the stuff in the spare bedroom, the hall, the garage, get it all up there out of the way safely. However, that void then can be filled with new or additional insulation, which will, I promise you, keep your energy bills down. It retains the heat in your house. It's great for soundproofing. It puts value to your house, and it also can help increase the EPC ratings on your house if you're selling it or renting it out. So there's lots and lots of kind of unforeseen benefits by just applying these type of additional floor, raised floor in the actual in your attic area. I'm just hoping you just hear the door.
Someone
open
asked,
behind me.
is your dog an XL bully?
Is our dog an XL bully? No, she's not an XL bully. She's just a little British bulldog, and she's only very tiny. She's about 10, 11 inches tall. Nelly, my daughter's just making a little appearance. You okay, Nelly? Just finished school? Yes, very quiet. Not usually this quiet. No doubt she's just going to explode in a minute. Did he say never film live with kids and pets? I think is that what they warn you?
Never work with kids and animals.
Never work with kids and animals. So there you go. Yes. So all these interviews I've been doing, these 22 of them so far, and more to come, will be going out over the whole bank holiday weekend across the UK. We will be, as per normal, putting up our... Hello, Nelly, you okay? Come and say hello. What you got on? You got your gardening gloves on? Oh, lovely. Show everyone your gardening gloves. Ah, look at them. What you've been doing? You're doing gardening in school yesterday, weren't you? Got them on the wrong hands. Put them on that hand. And that way. There you go. Thumb in there. And thumb in there. There we go. We'll have your modelling workwear before you know it. Well, you won't even know it. There you go. How's that? So are you doing any DIY this weekend, Nelly? No. Yes, you are. You're going to help me do a bit of stuff in the garden, aren't you? We're going to clean the garden. We're going to mow the lawn. We're going to repair a few things. A bit of weed killer down. We're going to do our compost heap, aren't we?
And we're going to pull the weeds out.
Pull the weeds out. That's right. Pull all the weeds out and treat the driveway, all the little gaps in them, and then they're going in our compost bin, aren't they? Tell us what you've been doing at school now. You've had some chickens, haven't you, to look after?
Chicks.
Chicks, sorry.
Not chickens.
Chicks and
Chicks.
Chicks, okay. They arrived as eggs, yeah?
They've hatched.
They've hatched and you've been holding them. Oh, very nice. And some of the children were allowed to take the chicks home. But we weren't allowed.
Only one person.
Only one person, okay. Why weren't we allowed to take them home, Nelly?
Because we have a predator dog.
We have a predator, Sydney the bulldog. So unfortunately we were ticked off the list. Not that Sydney would have done any harm to them little chicks. She'd have been scared of them probably. Listen, go pop in there and see your mummy, tell her. Go and ask mummy, right? Say daddy needs a cup of tea. He's been chatting all day. Can we have a cup of tea? Thank you, darling. It's always worrying, isn't it, when kids come in a live chat? Just don't know what they're going to say and do. Where are we up to anyway? Yes, so it's a busy DIY weekend. Let us know what you're doing this weekend. Send it in the comments, or any more questions coming, by the way, guys?
Yeah, there was, someone was asking about the podcast with Lee Francis. How do you think it went?
Yeah, we done a podcast with Lee Francis, didn't we? That was over at the Philharmonic. Yes, darling?
You have to wait for a second.
I have to wait for a second. Okay, then. Tell mummy I won't mind waiting. I'm sure it'll be worth the wait. Tell her she makes the best coffee in town.
Okay.
Thank you. You'll get thrown at me in a minute, you watch this. Yeah, Lee Francis, I mean, I think it went okay. It was great catching up with him. I am a dear friend of his, you know. We go back 24 years ago and we worked on, I think, 4 series of both Selector and The Bear's Tail. All in all, so probably close to 100 programmes, you know, we've worked together on, and had some real funny, good laughs, you know. So I think it went well. It was great. It was weird for me, though, chatting with him, because normally he's in character. He's either being Avid Marion, which was, you know, from 2000 up to 2004 or 5, or he's been Keith Lemon, you know. So whenever I've done things when he's on Celebrity Juice, you know, he's in character all the time, and he's so good at staying in character. So sometimes when I'd be on a set or filming or something in the green room and having a coffee with him, I'd start talking to him as Lee, and he'd be like, "Who the you? I'm not Lee," you know, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah, no, you're Avid, aren't you? You're Keith or somebody, you know, whoever character he was doing." So it was the first time I spoke to him publicly, him being himself, Lee. Which was quite strange. And I'll tell you a little secret, and I did want to bring it up in the podcast. If you haven't seen it, please do check it out. It's good. It's on our YouTube channel, Mr. and Mrs. YouTube channel. But I forgot to mention to him, it was nearly 7 years ago now, when Laura and I were getting married. My best woman, Shelley, she'd come all the way over from Australia with her two young children, you know. And basically, she was wanting to do something a little bit special for me at the wedding. So she contacted like celebrities and people I knew and friends who worked with and things like that on television and things. And one of them was Lee Francis, and said, could you send a little video message? Because Lee, we asked him to come to the wedding. He couldn't, he was filming at the time. So Shelley said, would you send a little message to Craig? Now, I wasn't aware of the messages. I hadn't seen them. And throughout our ceremony at the wedding, we're sitting there, I think we'd finished our dinner, and he said, I've got a surprise. And I had a big screen put it on. So all guests sitting there watching this screen where kind of lots of, you know, well-known faces, you know, Ricky Hatton, Frankie Dettori, you know, Yuri Geller, all these people who are friends of mine, sending these really lovely messages. And Lee Francis just won't come along, and it was him being Lee. And it was like, oh, actually, that's quite boring. Because most people say, no offence, Lee, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. And I did want to say to you in the podcast, and I completely forgot about it. But normally he does things that are funny, and he takes off characters, and he's always having a laugh and things. This video was like, hello, Craig. Yeah, have a wonderful wedding. You're probably going to have kids next, and this, that, and we were kind of like, that's not the Lee we know. That's not the Keith Lemon or the Bo Selector Avid Marion that we all remember, you know. So it was weird, because he sent a video of him being himself, and then, you know, afterwards we looked at it. I think, in fact, I put it up on our YouTube channel. Is it on the Craig Phillips one?
Yeah, Craig Phillips YouTube channel.
It's on the Craig Phillips YouTube channel, so have a little look at that, and you'll see my guests, you know, guests I've worked with off TV, and some celebrities and things on there, leaving us some nice messages. It was quite funny. I think our video as well is on there, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. or the Craig Phillips one?
It's on both.
Both, yeah.
Oh, it's on both, is it? Okay, I'll have to look at that. I haven't looked at it for ages. Any more questions coming in?
Just have a look now. Do I need to use a waterproof grout in a wet room?
Yes, most definitely a waterproof grout in a wet room, and preferably a flexible one as well. You can get an epoxy resin grout, which is perfect for wet rooms. They use them in swimming pools and various things like that. It's a little bit more expensive, but you know, you'd probably spend a lot of money doing your wet room, and you don't want it to fail on the floor in there, so it's worth spending getting the epoxy resin one. There's a video actually on our YouTube channel where I use it, and I think I mix like a coloured glitter of some sort in with it. It's a 2-part mix, and then we added a bit of colour. You don't have to add the glittery colour in, but when it dries, it's bulletproof. It really, really is fantastic. Any more questions?
We had one on Instagram. I'd like to buy a Wagner sprayer to spray my fence. Can you do a video on how to mix the paint and how to use a sprayer?
Yes, we have. We've got plenty of videos on there. I think we have got a mix of what, a dilute in the paint, because sometimes it is important. Paints are a little bit too thick, and you have to dilute them down to get the perfect result. But well, I'm going to guess we've got about 50 odd videos using Wagner products. So have a sift through them, because some of them are set up, some of them are cleaning the unit down, different units as well, of course. And I think we're set up now on Amazon, is it? We're on some of our videos. If you do have a look at some of our Wagner videos, because there'll be some links there of the products we're using and the sprays, where you can just click that link and buy them directly from Amazon, you know, straight away, and literally with you the next day or the day after that. If you do get one, again, send us any questions, because we're always answering them. And one thing I want to plug while we're on live on here as well, we have our Mr. and Mrs. DIY Facebook page. We've got over 200 followers on there with us, and it's great. It's a good community. But what we did set up a couple of years ago on Facebook is a Mr. and Mrs. DIY fan forum on Facebook. And now we've got 225,000 members who have joined our kind of community. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. You just click on it, you can be a member on there. But what they do is, between all of them, 250,000, they share their information. So they may put a picture up with a scenario, you know, I'm about to paint this, I don't know what paint to use, what type of sanding do I need on here? Or they put a paint up of something gone wrong, you know, and they kind of put a water-based paint on top of an oil-based paint, and it's not keen to it, it's rebelling a little bit against it, and they don't know what's going wrong. So they'll put these questions up and these pictures up or videos up, and by the time I get to look at them, I look at it 4 or 5 times a day and try to answer some questions on there. But before I've got to it, you can get 100, 200, 300 people have already answered the question. With it being this DIY community where everybody sticks together and helps one another, they're just sharing tips, they're sharing advice, they're giving advice on materials, products, tools, etc. to do particular things. I look at it, I learn things on it, you know, it's really, really good. So anyone watching, please check out the Mr. and Mrs. DIY fan forum page on Facebook and join, become a member, just apply on it, we'll accept you and let you in. Nick's laughing here.
Someone's asked, have you ever met Sean Williamson, aka Barry from EastEnders?
Yes, I have actually. Yeah, you know, you said Sean Williams, that I didn't know who he was. I couldn't put a thing together because I don't watch much of EastEnders, but I was at an award ceremony in London. I think it was like the Pride of Britain Awards or something like that, and he sat on our table, and he was lovely actually. He was really nice. So yeah, I have met him. Only that once or twice. I think I've seen him at a couple of awards, didn't speak to him, but I did share a table with him just once.
Where did you buy the wall panels that are on the wall behind you?
These ones on here, you know, we were doing the lives on here before. Because this video was pointing at me this way on the computer, you could see half of that, and about 7 or 8 people asked me. It's from a company called Walls and Floors, and they are super easy to fit. I think they've got a 20% discount off at the moment. So again, there might be a link on our website, Mr. and Mrs. DIY.tv, TV, not .com or .co.uk.tv, and you'll find us there, and there'll be a link to their website. And we've got, how many vids have we got up, guys? About 6 or 7?
Oh, there's quite a few now.
We've done about 6 or 7 videos. This was being one of the first one where we just put them all the way across one solid wall. That's a block wall behind us, so we just drilled and plugged in a few spaces and fixed them in. But you can stick them on with a grab adhesive. You can stick them on things like a Max Bond, works brilliantly on them. A multi-use, 3C's multi-use adhesive works great on them. We use them in our new office. We're in our old office at the moment. We've got a new one we've built to the side of the workshop, and we've done them on kind of a stud wall on there, so it showed us fitting them to a stud wall. We had some offcuts where we just little small bits, we just glued them and put them in these little alcoves, part of the 6th panel building where our office is on there. And what else did we do? We done like a secluded door as well. Yeah, that's right. So we come right across the wall and then across the door, but the door was set in, so you can still see the door a little bit. We went around the frame on it. But the next bit we're going to do is the other side, where we sail it flush across the door and make an invisible kind of door in there. And we did our headboard as well. So you want to have a little nose at our bedroom. We've got a big kind of emperor bed, and then our headboard's a stud wall, not going over to the ceilings, and it acts as a headboard and also a partition between our ensuite behind us there. So we cladded it again using this acoustic panel wall, and I've got to be honest, it looks fantastic. It really, really is good.
Someone asked, what's the soundproofing qualities on it like? And can you hide wires behind?
Yes, you can do. I mean, you can chase away the walls, sink the wires in there, and then the back of these bits here is like a black. It's about a 12mm, really kind of condensed foam. So it has got some good soundproofing values in there. It'll absorb the sound, stops sound travelling through it and bouncing off as well. So yeah, it has all of the above sort of thing on there. Quite inexpensive as well. I think you'd be surprised. This was the first time I actually fitted it on here. You will be surprised how quick and easy it is to fit. It's one of them DIY tasks. If you're making a feature wall like this, you can get a lot done really quickly, and that makes it appealing. You know, when people tile a wall, you know, you can get quite a lot done in the one area if you're using big tiles. Where if you're using mosaic tiles or something, it's taking hours, and you get all the little ones in and stuff like that can generally be a little bit slower, and people like the speed. Not many people have got the time. This is why, in fact, these bank holiday weekends, I know we've only got 3 days bank holiday, but the next bank holiday, there's 4 days, the Friday and the Monday, and that's when people take on more ambitious tasks where they really kind of think about things and plan things. But the biggest tip we were saying to everyone today on the radio stations was, if you are planning any DIY this weekend, it's all about getting the preparation done and researching it, having a look at the videos. We've got 450 videos on our YouTube channel now. Here we go, we've got another visitor. Nellie's coming back. Hello, darling. How are you? You okay? Yeah. Here's my cup of tea.
She hasn't made you one yet. She's making our dinner.
Oh, she's making your dinner. Go and tell Mummy that Daddy is really upset. He's gasping for one of her favourite coffees. Yeah? She's gasping for one of the favourite coffees. Listen, before I round this up, guys, I want to shout about a little bit of news that we are super excited about. As you know, we create online videos for probably 6 or 7 companies that I'm the brand ambassador of, and Laura as well. We make online videos for them, share them out, as you know, and we give them to our companies we work for. They put them across all their social media as well. What we do, and it's Jake's poor painstaking job, of every month we monitor the views that they do. So we got these spreadsheets that started off just, you know, every month, 12 of them in the first year, but it's been going on, some of them now, you know, 4 years, even 5 years we've been clocking up, and the increase that we've had in just the last 12 months. Jake told me today the TikTok, if I remember rightly, for when he last measured the views up on our TikTok videos, it was in February time, it's gained 4 million more views since February. So overall on TikTok, what was it, Jake?
12 million.
12 million.
12 million
million views we've had on our videos. I don't know how many videos we've got. We might have 100 or so plus, you know, on there. But across all of our channels, we've added up, and we don't follow every video because sometimes you've just been and gone, and you know, all the live stuff and things. But we've been putting reels out just for the last 3 or 4 months, tallying up all of them, which has done a big increase for us. We follow the views on all the YouTube channels for our 5 or 6 sponsors that we have, and of course all of our own here. And we're pleased to say we've topped over 70 million views now across our videos that we've solely produced. You know, I produce pretty much every video that we're in. We stage it, we script write it, we set it up, we get all the materials, the projects. Yes, darling?
You can have a beer.
Oh, I can have a beer. Oh, great. Bring it over here. Oh, darling, you tell Mummy. Oh, it's nice and cold as well. Feel how cold that is? Oh, freezing, freezing, isn't it? Freezing. Tell Mummy, thank you very much indeed. You didn't get this from our bar, did you?
I did.
Oh, she did. I don't know. Well, on that note, guys, I'm going in. Oh, everywhere. On that note, it's making a mess, isn't it? I am going to have a beer, a well-earned beer, because I've done 22 interviews there today. Oh, thank you, Don. And I've got one more live one on BBC Scotland at 5:55. So I'm going to love you and leave you all. Say goodbye. Nell, do you want to say goodbye to everyone? Them 3 phones there, right? There's people looking and saying hello to us and watching. Just say goodbye to them.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Keep the questions coming in. Thanks for your support.